Hi, Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Today we're going to talk briefly about crossbows. I enjoy many forms of marksmanship, including pretty much anything that lets you put a little hole in paper at long distances. I like the challenge. I like being out and doing it. I like the experience. So today we're going to talk about the pistol crossbow. Now, I want to talk about the pistol crossbow because it has many features that are great for somebody who's just getting into any form of marksmanship. And I don't want people to be scared of this. This is simply a tool. What a pistol crossbow fires, and I'm picking them because they're significantly less expensive than your mainline crossbows, is a bolt. Okay, this is a crossbow bolt. This is 6-inch. It has an aluminum shaft that actually threads onto a plastic little vane, the fins that keep it going flat, and a nice little pointy bit. As you can see, in an emergency, a survival situation, making one of these is much easier than making an arrow because the back is actually flat. It doesn't take as much work. A little duct tape and a pencil will function. Not great, but over short distances, boom, you have something that could be useful. This, however, is shot out of one of these. Now, this is a 50-pound draw crossbow. And it has a little pull lever, and what that does is it pulls the string, and the string gets caught right there. You can then, it has a safety device. This one is one-sided, has a safety device that allows the trigger not to push the string, thus, well, actually keeps the string from rising up out of the hole, because the trigger, if you can look, see if I can get that right by the camera, that little, very simple trigger pushes the string up, it goes sprung, and it shoots this little guy. Okay? Now, these are made where, let me see if I can get out. This is about a 50-pound draw. So this is heavy for a bow. Let me see if I can do it. Cool. I'm in good shape today. I take this, right? I place a single bolt in. I'm going to put the safety on. Safety is on. It actually ejects the bolt a little bit. This cannot, now I'm pointing it down range in case of idiotic, but basically can't fire. Still, if you want to teach somebody what's called trigger discipline, this is a great tool. It's quiet. The aiming is not unlike a firearm. I'm just going to take the bolt out for a second. As you can see, you just line up the little stud with the things. But this is a good, wholesome family experience. Now, drawing this can be problematic. It takes a bit of strength. So this comes with something, which is an attachment. And this attachment is a foot loop. Now, I got this model. This is actually my little brother's. I bought it for him, and I told him I'd assemble it. Set it up, because getting the crossbow actually strung can be a bit of a challenge for people who aren't terribly practiced or just excessively strong. I have just affixed an attachment to it. Now, this is a folding attachment. This is not something you would put against your shoulder, although it looks stock-like. What this device is something that you, when you're drawing, and I'll come back here, actually give me just a second. It is bad to dry fire crossbows. Dry firing means shooting it without something behind it. So, I haven't fired this in a long time, but I'm very good. Take the safety off. Nick, you're shooting left-handed. Yes, I prefer to. Okay, just threw it down range, way high of the target, but that's why I have a backstop. Cool, it works. But okay, I want to shoot something else. Now, I told you I had to do this where you lock your arm, hold it, and use the strength of your shoulders. Some people's shoulders aren't. So I'm going to come way back here. You can't see real well, but I'm going to, and what you do is you just put your foot through the foot loop, and I'm using my stronger arm, and you pull. And now, like before, this is in a cocked, ready to fire position. The foot loop does in no way change the function of the device. It shoots the exact same ammunition, the exact same way. Safety is off. I'm going to aim way low because I was way high because I'm shooting at an angle. And So it misfired. This happens. That's okay too. I'm not going to stress it because this did not cause a misfire. This did not change anything. Changing the attributes of a tool does not necessarily change it. If I were to make this solid so that it was a front grip, and I wanted to fire my crossbow like this, it would in no way change the amount of power of the bow shooting the arrow, okay? I could grab it like this. I could use two hands. I could put a stock on it and have it rested against my shoulder. That's not going to affect the function of the device. I'm going to show you something else. This is my crossbow. Now this is, I believe it's called an M48 Cobra System. And as you said, the other one has to have a foot loop. It has the same one. This has a very neat device. It's metal and it's shiny. And honestly, I've got some negative reviews about this because I've used it for a few years and some of my students have broken it. So the catch here is actually broken. Let me see. So I'm not sure I'd recommend one. I actually kind of like the simpler model with the foot loop. Same poundage, same about 50-pound draw. It has a little spur, and you grab there. It has a double safety. That's nice. And yeah, as I said, this one has come apart a bit. But I can just lever it, cock it back, and this device, firing the exact same crossbow bolt, fires exactly the same. Oh, it has a safety too. This safety is a little different. It's ambidextrous, which I like. But sweet, much better. I'm used to the sighting on this one a little better than the other one. It's the same device. Now I do archery a lot, and I do archery when it's convenient for me, which is maybe when my son's asleep. You know, my wife's asleep. I don't want to make a lot of noise. A lot of times it's at night. Well, riddle me this. I was going to use a zip tie, but I don't want it to be permanent because I don't think it's a good idea. I have some of this stuff. This stuff is just twisty tie. You can get a whole roll of it for like $2. This is a dollar store. I'm going to flash the camera with. Tactical flashlight. Isn't that nice? It functions a lot like the Great Cree lights, but again, it's, low cost. Now, if I take this, right, and I'm just going to put in the simplest, I suppose I could have used duct tape to make it more bonehead to make my point, but I'm just going to wrap this in a loop, and I'm going to attach it to the underside of the crossbow. Okay? So we're going to just weave it through, give myself enough room. I'd really like 2 loops, but I don't know if I cut it long enough. Doesn't need to be perfect because this is a demonstration kind of deal. And we'll just do, okay, fine. We are just going to do it like this. Now, if I were doing this day to day, I certainly wouldn't do it like this. I'd zip tie it like I zip tied the one on my BB gun because we have a pest problem with rather dangerous small creatures, and I don't want to kill them, but I have been known to use my BB gun to scare them away. Due to the size, the BB gun doesn't hurt them. And usually I just shoot cans near them. That way, I don't have PTA folks after me. Okay, I have we'll say, ineffectively, but just attached a light. I'm going to tighten it because it's not very tight and it's bugging me. But I attach a flashlight to the bottom of this. I turn it on. Now, theoretically, oh look, I have a flashlight on the bottom of my crossbow. Does that change the function of the crossbow? Yeah, I can now light up something at night, but it doesn't change the function. Theoretically, it makes it a little scarier. And if I grab it, it makes it much more comfortable for a two-handed kind of rifle-y grip, This is much more comfortable with this than the little support beam. Obviously, again, I would do it much more sturdy, but this is for the point of the video. It doesn't change the function. That means is at the end of the day, the little bolt that's sticking out of a target right now will fly the exact same out of something like this that doesn't have a foot loop. It will fly if it has a foot loop. It will fly if it has a flashlight. If it doesn't have a flashlight, this has dovetails. I could put what's called an optic on this. I could put a red dot. I could even put a scope. That would allow my nearsighted self to see farther in the case of a scope and possibly acquire a target. That means be aimed on where it needs to be faster in the case of a red dot. But does that change the function of the crossbow? No. They are still very inexpensive. This rig is about 20 bucks. This rig's about 25, and honestly, I'm kind of more liking the simpler design, but that's, my habit in a lot of things. We might do an archery video where we're actually shooting and we're talking about technique and stuff. But I just wanted to make a point about not being scared of your equipment or the equipment of others, because it doesn't necessarily change the function of the equipment. Happy shooting, stay safe, and as always, support your local swordmaster.